Now that I've lost more respect than someone using Corsola and online, I will find you. I think I should stop complaining about graphics in a Pokemon game before I reveal another hot take like Diamond and Pearl suck. I have been a Pokemon fan for as long as I can remember. Despite what some of you may think based on my previous statements. Is this a bad game? Yes. Boo. Boo. You suck. My expectations are pretty high right now. Me use fire on grass. Ooh, Maybe they're gonna announce Pokemon Sword and Shield 2, where all the routes are straight lines. That would be pretty epic. Gets it. Wow! They're also announcing another Gen 1 remake, but this time Team Rocket is replaced with Team Galactic, and that's your Gen 4 remake. Fuck you, Sword. Fuck you, Sword and Shield. You fucking bitch. Fuck you. There's a lot of potential here. Ooh, that was even worse. Yeah! Sure, the Arceus thing is cool, as long as they fix that frame rate, Jesus. I like it. Ooh. It looks like a mobile game, actually. Never mind. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. They're running out of ideas. I'm sorry, that looks so bad. Fuck you! I'm making it sound like I care, but I really don't. It's just really fun to shit on this franchise now. I love this franchise. I still remember when I first got my 3DS XL, the first system that was mine and mine alone. It was Christmas of 2014, which was 8 years ago by the way, with a copy of Pokemon Omega Ruby. My 10-year-old ape brain received a mass amount of dopamine that day. I played it during the entirety of the 8-hour-long car ride to my grandparents' house. I got all the way to the 6th gym, and was still in disbelief that I was playing an official Pokemon game on an actual 3DS. I might have played an Emerald ROM on my dad's laptop when I was really young, so I am going to jail. To be fair, I never got to the 2nd gym because I didn't know you had to go to the bird guy's house so he could take you to Dewford, so just think of it as like a demo or something. Anyways, I was excited that I was playing a real Gen 3 Pokemon game. So you can imagine my excitement when I got Pokemon X the following day. I played those games to death, constantly resetting and playing through them again and again with different teams and stuff. Now I own at least one game for every region in some shape or form, whether it be the remake or the original. Even if Pokemon is going in some weird directions now, I still love this franchise with all my heart. Being a Pokemon fan for as long as I have means you pick up some things. I know the common opinions and thoughts of other Pokemon fans. I've heard everyone's opinions on the Battle Frontier, I've struggled to remember Maractus with everyone, I fantasize about stabbing Mindy and her no-good ugly and throughout my time in this community, there is one question that I cannot hope to answer myself. Why do so many people like Gen 4? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Everyone goes on and on about this game, saying this is where Pokemon peaked, and it's the best experience Pokemon has to offer, and I don't understand. I first played Pokemon Pearl a couple years ago, and it is to date the only Pokemon game I have not finished. I got to the 8th gym and stopped. I played it again for this video, and I stopped again at the 8th gym. I couldn't do it. I don't want to hear, oh, you didn't play enough of the game, you can't review it. Look, I played enough to know what I needed to know. I'm not going to finish the last hour of a game I already know I don't like. Now I hear your screams. I hear them. They hurt my ears. Pokemon Platinum. It's the fix for everything. It's the definitive Gen 4 experience. It revived my mom back from the dead. You cannot be talking about that one too. Yes, it is the definitive Gen 4 experience. It's not saying much. Platinum is an improvement over these two, but that's like improving a building on the verge of collapse by putting a band-aid on it. And it's like one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle band-aids, so it looks slightly cooler, I guess. By the way, I know Gen 4 includes Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver. I'm aware, but I'm not going to say Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum every time, so for convenience's sake, I'm calling these 3 games Gen 4. Cool? Cool. Now, is this game as bad as Sword and Shield? No, it's not. I hate Sword and Shield. I genuinely hate these games with a passion. It's literally impossible to be worse than these travesties. But I still believe these are the 2nd worst Pokemon games for a number of reasons. I'm gonna get shot. You wonder why I don't do a face reveal. It's because of this video. If I show my face, I'm gonna step outside and risk getting Orbital Strike. Did Orbital struck? For my videos, I usually say as a bit, my opinion is the only right one, but for this one, I feel like I need to explain myself more. This video is my opinion. I am not shaming anybody for liking Gen 4. If you like Gen 4, that is fine. It does not affect me in any way. I'm just confused why people like these games so much. It's my stupid preferences in games and my even stupider opinion. So, let's go through Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum and try to answer the question. Why do people like Gen 4 so much? Or alternatively, am I just an idiot with bad opinions? The main appeal of Pokemon for most people is battling, training up a team of 6, perfecting their movesets, and dominating any opponent you come across. This has been executed well enough by Game Freak in every Pokemon game. Nowadays it gets a little tiring having to sit through all the text boxes saying the same stuff over and over again, but at the end of the day, it's always fun. So how's the battling in Gen 4? This is sped up ×2. fighting in Gen 4 is one of the most draining experiences I've had while playing a video game. You start the game, you know, I got a monkey, I'm gonna whoop everyone's ass. And it's fun at first, you're using tackle, so are they, it's a grand old time. But as the game progresses, you realize the move animations are taking forever, and the health of the opponent drains even slower, and the text for every single action repeating itself over and over again, and you ask yourself, is this fun? Am I having fun pressing one button every 8 hours just for the move to miss or do like 3 damage? Is this engaging? So you crawl over to the settings and turn off battle animations just to save the smallest amount of time, and it does help. You do miss the charming animations dearly, but nothing is more valuable than saved time. However, the battles still drag on, and with no other menu options for speeding up battles, you have to accept that this is your life. Welcome to being middle-aged, enjoy that garden badge. This was me. I heard that the battles were slow, and I'm sure you have too. It's like the easiest gimme complaint about the games, but that's for a reason. If you've never played these games, first of all, good on you. Second of all, you can't imagine how dreadful it is fighting a single trainer. It doesn't translate from the screen. You have to experience it for yourself over the course of an RPG. For every Pokemon game, no matter how mediocre, I can say at least they are fun. At least I can say I'm having a good time playing the game. But I can't say that about Gen 4. Playing this game hurts. It's physically painful. I played this game while doing other stuff like watching YouTube in the background, so I could get through it by splitting my brain, but I can't imagine how mind-numbing it is to play this game without distractions. Just sitting there waiting for the turns to end, god, it must be dreadful. There isn't even a good reason for it being this slow. Graphically, the game is fine. The houses are 3D, cool, I guess. There is no reason for the battling to be this slow. I'm going to say this right now, and this applies to the rest of the video. Gen 4 Pokemon released on the DS, which isn't exactly a powerhouse, so it could be argued, you can't judge this game too hard for technical limitations. It couldn't optimize properly for fast-paced battles. It's not the game's fault. Black and White is also on the DS, and not only did it have fast-paced, snappy, fun battles, the battles had these high-quality animations playing all throughout. I would expect those games to be slow as balls, but no, it runs fantastic. On top of that, the rest of the game was packed full of stuff. This game pushed the DS to its limits and ran wonderfully, while Gen 4 is struggling to move a green health bar down before your mortgage arrives. Yes, Gen 4 released early on in the DS's life while Black and White had more time, but the improvement visually is shocking. So, it being the reason people like the game is unlikely. It was done better in every single game before and after it. So I doubt people are playing Gen 4 for the battling. Unless it does something so unique, or so innovative that the simple inclusion of that thing makes it the best game purely because of it. Now I hate the modern gimmicks of Pokemon as much as the next guy. Mega Evolution was okay, Z-Move sucked, and Dynamax keeps me up at night. But at least it gave each generation something to call their own, and Gen 4 really needed that for its battle system. It's just Pokemon fighting. Whoop-de-doo. I kinda get why they added the gimmicks now. They freshened things up. 5 generations did the same stuff got old. And you don't really realize how much the system needed to be freshened up until you play Gen 4, where battling is battling, and it's fine. Now I know what you're thinking, what about the physical special split? Yes, something that revolutionized Pokemon battling, an absolutely necessary addition. Okay, it's cool, but I doubt people say Gen 4 is the best because of it. Hello, little Jimmy! I heard that Gen 4 is your favorite Pokemon generation. I just want to ask, why is that? I like the physical special split because it allowed physically based water Pokemon like Gyarados or special based fighting Pokemon like Blaziken to use their moves more effectively, and it was good for competitive. Okay, so it's not the gameplay of battling, maybe it's the visuals of them. I turned off battle animations because it took so long, but how are the sprites? They're good. The sprites are nice. But if people are judging what Pokemon game is their favorite based on how Pokemon look in battle, there would be a lot more Gen 5 fans. Alright, I give up on the battle system. Maybe it's the Pokemon themselves. Maybe this region has the best designed Pokemon by far. Now this next segment is obviously subjective. Unlike the rest of the video, that's objective fact. But my opinion on the Pokemon designs is obviously my opinion, and if you disagree, that's cool. I'm not going to definitively say that people liking the Pokemon is not the reason Gen 4 is liked. I think the Gen 4 Pokedex is pretty good. A lot of Pokemon here have some nice designs I like. Drapion, Weavile, Garchomp, Lucario. I'm not a furry, I promise. Rampardos, Roserade, Spiritomb, kinda, Luxray. Lopunny. There aren't any of my favorites in this generation, but there aren't any Pokemon I hate. Eiscue is in here, so you know what that means. The game is good! Maybe Perugly, but that thing's whole purpose is being a Clarence fan, so it's fine. Starters are cool. Sure. The middle forms for all of them are particularly weak, however. Especially Prinplup, like, what is this abomination? You know those Pokemon lines where it's like, you could tell they designed the first and the third form, and they were solid. But for the middle form, they just did whatever the in-between would be. That goes for all the starters, actually. Torterra is the most original one, but Infernape looks cooler, so I usually pick Chimchar.
Also because your only other fire-type option is Ponyta.
None of these guys are that great in my eyes, but they get the job done. The same cannot be said for the legendaries, though. I know all these legendaries are like higher beings, even more so than the legendaries of the past. The god of space, time, and, you know, actual god. So they should be a little complex and alien-like, but my Arceus. What the hell are these? Like, really, look at these two for like a minute and try to figure out what the hell is going on. Dialga has a massive forehead for no reason while Palkia is trying to cheat in his test. Arceus is in the same boat, but at least he looks kind of majestic in a way. I mean, he is Pokemon God, so sure. Both forms of Giratina are cool, I guess. The Lake Trio are boring and just feel like filler. I have a migraine remembering Heatran's existence. I didn't know Heatran was a legendary until like 4 years ago. It's kind of sad. Manaphy feels like a Celebi clone, and I already don't like Celebi, so I'm gonna be brutally honest here. I don't care for Manaphy. Fione, are you proud of this? Darkrai is awesome! I'm only saying that so I don't get shot. He's cool, I guess. I like Shaman enough. One thing the Gen 4 Dex does that is cool is create new evolutions for older Pokemon. This is such a cool idea, and it baffles me to this day that no game has done this again. Actually, Gen 8 had some new evolutions for older Pokemon, and they gave them to some underrated ones like Corsola and Farfetch'd. But it was only for Pokemon that had a Galarian form, so these didn't get evolutions. These did. Go home, Gen 8. Okay, back to slightly less bad game. Okay, that was really mean. These games are not even in the same league, I'm sorry. We got a decent amount of them, and they're overall solid. Magnezone, this one, Mamoswine, Dusknoir, Froslass, New Evolutions, and Gallade are all great evolutions for Pokemon that either needed a new form or needed a new form. A lot of them look like how I would design an evolution for the Pokemon when I was 8. Magmar, just make a bit more fire, I don't know. Electabuzz, he's an electric type, put some wires on him. While I hate Nosepass, so make him look ugly, that's funny. As much as I want to say that this was a great addition and a fantastic idea, they just had to have a sacrifice. Rhydon, the fabled first designed Pokemon. The original, an absolute beast, something that shakes your spine when you hear its echoing footsteps in the distance. Its younger form still being a threatening presence. Pissing off a Rhyhorn is the last thing you will do. These two Pokemon, no, pocket monsters, have dominated the Rockground family ever since Regigigas split the seas and continue to strike fear in the hearts of all their opponents. What the f is this? What do I say to this? Why did his horn turn 90 degrees? Why are his elbows capable of opening beer cans? Why, oh why is he wearing bright orange construction equipment? He has a testicle on his tail. Rhyperior. F***ing Rhyperior. If the Pokedex of Gen 4 is the reason it's popular, then that would be an acceptable explanation. But every region has a Pokedex, and again, people love Gen 4, like it's a lot of people's favorites. I'm pissing off the majority of a fan base, so why am I making this? Surely it has to be more than the Pokedex, right? Let's move on to some smaller topics. I doubt any of these are the single reason people love this game, but maybe it's the collection of them. How about the music? Now this is another subjective topic as everyone has different music tastes, especially when it comes to Pokemon. Gen 4's music, more than any other, feels like, oh, it's another Pokemon song. Okay. It's really hard to describe, but when a Gen 4 song comes on, I'm just like, yep, that makes sense. With every other gen, I can find something in the music that differentiates it from the other gens musically, but for Gen 4, all the melodies feel so generic and aimless, the instruments are predictable, if that makes sense. The music is good, but it's just there. Here comes the obligatory list of songs I like from the game. Route 201, the Lake theme. Route 205. I like the Team Galactic battle theme, but that might just be because of Smash Brawl. Route 209. Eterna Forest's melody feels aimless, but in a good way. There isn't like a consistent stream of notes that makes sense, but it works for this song. It's relaxing. I like it. Snowpoint City, the Pokemon League, Canalave City's theme is good, but I feel like it should go somewhere else. I like the memed up Piano Before Cynthia more than her actual battle theme, so that's something. The Gym Leader theme is actually pretty good, but they just reuse it for the Elite Four. I know it's different, but it's really not. Like, come on, Gen 3 could have a unique Elite Four theme. Why can't you? The bike theme, unfortunately, didn't do anything for me. Gen 5's bike theme is the definition of happiness. It's literally impossible to be sad while listening to it. This one's okay. I'm going to play the good parts of Dialga and Palkia's battle theme right now. That's it. Same with the Lake Trio. Cool. The piano in the former feels so majestic and powerful, and the bass of the latter feels goofy but at the same time threatening. These parts of these two songs are so good it makes the rest of the song boring. Also, the rest of the song makes the rest of the song boring. I can't listen to these for more than a minute. So for me, the music didn't do anything. How about the region? Both in terms of the locations you can go to and how you explore the region in-game. The center region is actually one of the cooler regions in terms of the landscapes. A giant mountain divides the region in half, and throughout the game you pass through and on top of it multiple times before going to the summit to face the climax. The towns are cool. There's a lot of really unique towns, like the flower one, and the one with the bridge, and the snow one. They're all able to stand out from one another, which isn't always a thing that happens, so you get this one Gen 4. I will say Littleroot is a boring opening town, but so is every other opening town, so I'll let it slide. What I won't let slide is how miserable it is to traverse this region. To the newer Pokemon fans, there used to be these things called HMs. What's an HM, you ask? You know what TMs are, right? An item that contains a move, and if your Pokemon can learn this move, you can teach it to them. It's pretty cool. Now, what if those moves could be used in the overworld? Yeah, that sounds cool, right? Want to get a mystery item but a small tree blocks the way? Use one of your Pokemon to cut it down. Want to get to towns, cities, and points of interest faster? How about you teach one of your flying Pokemon fly? Now you're getting it. Not only does this create more things to do in the overworld, it also gets you closer to the Pokemon on your team. It feels like every team member is pitching in on this journey in a natural way. That's right, none of, your Pokemon loves you so much it burned down a small village and now yearns for your pets. A natural way for the player to connect with their Pokemon. Sure, some moves in battle, like Cut, aren't the best, but it's still possible to use, it's not useless. So, what's the catch? Once you teach a Pokemon this move, you can't get rid of it. It is stuck on the Pokemon until you find a move deleter and delete the move manually, however the hell that works in Universe. What's that? You have a really cool moveset on a Pokemon that you love, and that said Pokemon is trying to learn a cooler move? Well, buddy, you taught him Rock Smash an hour ago, so have fun getting rid of one of your cool moves so you can keep that 50 attack power, baby. I know this was done to prevent the player from getting soft-locked, but like, you could just give the player an item that takes you to a safe place or something. It would make escape ropes useless, but who gives a piss? The alternative sucks. As cool as an idea HMs were, they were ruined by this and got slowly removed from the games as a result. Starting in Gen 5, where you only had to use Cut once, they aren't even in the games anymore. But they just had to have one big final hurrah, huh? The amount of HMs you have to use in Gen 4 to get anywhere is unbelievable. It ended up doing the opposite of getting you invested in your team. There were so many required HMs that people sacrificed a team slot to just throw all their HMs on a random Pokemon called an HM slave. The fact that something called an HM slave was basically required should have clued everyone in that there was a problem. It was, get an HM slave, or spread out these moves throughout your team, and keep in mind, not all these moves are good. To get to the top of Victory Road, you need 5 HMs. That's a whole Pokemon's moveset, plus one more for good measure. Don't even get me started on Defog. This one doesn't even do damage, it just gets rid of fog in the overworld. Speaking of which, traversing this region is miserable even without HMs. There's a muddy route where walking in certain patches stops the player and gets them stuck. Now move the D-pad around until you get unstuck. Multiple people approve this and saw it as fun. Wait till the fog rolls in. It does nothing but make it harder to see. Best game in the series. In battle, it lowers the accuracy of all moves, so now battling takes even longer. And the snow? It just slows you down for no reason, just because. That's the thing about Gen 4. It's not just slow in battling, it's slow in everything else. The base running speed isn't that fast, running through snow and mud is painful, and the game stops everything to ask the player if they want to use an HM move at an HM spot. Like, if you want to break a rock, the game's like, are you sure you want to use Rock Smash on it? Yes! Why the f*** else would I click on a random rock? Maybe the graphics are good. You know those Pokemon lines where you could tell they designed the first and the third form, and they were solid, but then for the middle one, they just did whatever the in-between would be? That's Gen 4. Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald was a massive step up from Gold and Silver. Full color, amazing pixel art, more complex battle animations. It was quite impressive. Gen 5 feels like the step up from Gen 3 that Gen 3 was for Gen 2. A huge visual improvement in battles and in the overworld. Then there's Gen 4. It looks fine, the pixel art is nice, but I don't know, it's just okay. Oh wait, what am I saying? The houses are 3D! Oh my god, game of the year! There's nothing else to say about the visuals. Nothing else to say about the region, nothing else to say about the gameplay, nothing else to say about Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. I'm trying my best, I really am. I'm trying to find some reason, anything that earns this game a spot on top of the podium, but I got nothing. This game has nothing. Or does it? Maybe something could redeem this game. Something that I hold dear to my heart. What about the story and characters? Maybe the plot is so engaging, so charming, that is the single reason people love this gen. Heck, I've played many games that have mediocre, even bad gameplay, and if it were that alone, I wouldn't touch it with a 50-foot pole. But the story was so good, it made sitting through the bad worth it 100 times over. And I love stories in games, even bad ones. Sword and Shield's plot is a mess, but it's fun to talk about how much it sucked. And good stories like Pokemon Black and White and even Sun and Moon to an extent can make a game. There is literally no way Gen 4 loses. Even if the story is bad, I'll still enjoy it. So, how is the story in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum? I have never seen a story so boring, so by the numbers, so nothing in my entire life. Like, I wasn't expecting a more here. It is a Pokemon game. My expectations were rock bottom. But you know what? Just because it's a Pokemon game doesn't mean it gets a free pass. If every Pokemon game had a mediocre story, then whatever, it's the series staple, but black and white. If the story is bad and boring, especially to this extent, it's not, oh, that's Pokemon. It means they didn't try. Now, why am I taking the story of Diamond and Pearl and criticizing it so deeply? Well, I'm trying to figure out why people like the game. So far, I've been given nothing close to an answer in my own eyes, so I'm going to tear this apart in a futile attempt to find any worth. Also, it's fun to rip Pokemon plots apart, you can't lie. More than any other Pokemon game, Diamond and Pearl feels like a Mad Lib plot. You're a 10-year-old kid living in Little Root Town in the Sinnoh region with your rival friend, Barry. You get a Pokemon from Professor Rowan and begin to fight the 8 gym leaders. Along the way, you fight Team Galactic and their leader, Cyrus, trying to revive the legendary Pokemon, Dialga, or Palkia, to restart the universe that... What? Once you stop that and save the day, you go to the Elite Four and fight the champion, Cynthia. Like, right? You could apply the cookie cutter plot to some other Pokemon games, but in every other game they do something to help it stand out, some bare minimum change that deviates from the Mad Lib plot. Gen 6 almost follows it to a T, but at least there's like the history of the war, and Lysander is a twist villain even if it's a pathetically kept secret. But nothing is done with Gen 4's plot. I remember I got to the top of Mount Coronet, preparing to fight the god of space, the creator of dimensions, an incredibly powerful being. This build-up was thanks to my previous knowledge of Pokemon, not any good build-up in the game, of course. I got to the top of Mount Coronet, fought Cyrus, who I will get to, stepped up to the legendary beast, faced it down, and won. Team Galactic fled, and I began my journey to the 8th badge. On my way there, I realized... Wait, that was the climax of the game. That was it. The finale, the big finisher, the final kaput calamity. I fought Palkia, and left. How engaging. Putting aside the fact that this wasn't even the climax, oh, you killed God, now fight this random loser. That's the thing every Pokemon game does, except Gen 5. Love you, buddy. This was incredibly anticlimactic. But, can I even say that? Anticlimactic, causing disappointment at the end of an exciting or impressive series of events. It's not even that. Nothing happens in this game. It doesn't follow the basic rules of storytelling. Build-up, suspense, payoff. Nah, it's fine. It's Pokemon. Don't worry about it. Characters give you exposition dumps about the legendaries sometimes, but that's it. Wow, I'm so invested in this world and its inhabitants. The lore of the world is cool. It's all about the creation of the universe, and that's neat, but the story the game takes you through wastes this potential because nothing cool is done with it. Team Galactic is a non-existent threat. The most generic evil team by far. Your final encounter with Team Galactic is finding them in a random-ass warehouse, going through more teleportation puzzles. Wow, guys, how original! Everything they do has been done better before. Oh, what's that? You have a secret base underground? That sounds familiar. You summoned a legendary Pokemon? Where have I seen that before? You took over an entire windmill? Imagine being one-upped by Team Rocket. So even when these games came out, they were just worse versions of previous evil teams, and that's saying a lot. Since then, evil teams have blown Team Galactic's achievements out of the water. Again, you took over a windmill, Team Skull took over an entire town. They say they're gonna do bad things, then they do it, and you stop them. How engaging! The legendary doesn't do shit when they show up. They make the sky polka dotty, but after that they just kind of stand there. Menacing. No, not even menacingly, they just kind of stand there. This is the mythical Pokemon that created Sinnoh, Dialga, the ancient deity of time. There's a lot of comparisons that can be made between Gen 4's plot and Gen 3's. Both have a generic evil team trying to do evil stuff and use one of the box legendaries to get it done. But Gen 4's predecessor on weaker hardware made a more engaging story. I'll use Pokemon Ruby as an example. Team Magma wants to make the land overtake the sea for a reason that totally exists. Maxie's the leader, and he's a generic evil scientist, I think. Look, I said it was better, not good. When they awaken Groudon, he's pissed. He gets out of his cave and starts the apocalypse. The sun is beating down on the world, and if you don't act, the oceans will evaporate, the forest will burn, and all people in Pokemon will go with it. People say Lavender Town's theme is the scariest Pokemon song, but bro. especially the ORAS version. Anyways, you fight the legendary in the Cave of Origin, which is a thing I guess, and save the world from a fiery fate. That's the impact Groudon makes on the world. It lays out in no uncertain terms that the world will die if you don't stop it. What does Dialga do? He sits there. Cool. I know, I hear you. Pokemon Platinum. In Pokemon Platinum's finale, Cyrus summons both Dialga and Palkia for a reason, and it accidentally awakens Giratina, the Pokemon equivalent of Satan. Quick tangent. In Diamond and Pearl, Cyrus captures the Lake Trio, which he uses to make the Red Chain. With that, he summons the respective legendary of the game. So he makes one, to summon one legendary. So you might ask, how does he have two in Platinum, allowing him to summon both legendaries? Oh, you know, he replicated it with technological means. That is literally the only line explaining how he has two red chains. Awesome. You give chase to the Distortion World, and the Distortion World is cool. It's one of the most unique places in Pokemon. It's something that Gen 4 has to itself, but for me, it's too little too late. The rest of the game is so boring I can't get invested in the 11th hour. It's fun to explore, even if the platforms take forever to get where they're going. The world is interesting enough with its disappearing plants and upside down waterfalls, but there aren't any Pokemon to fight, the strength puzzles are there. I don't know, it was cool, but it was not enough for me to call it the best game. The fight with Giratina is neat, I guess. Okay, you get it, story bad. Or you're yelling at me, one of two. Are the characters any good? Even if the story is boring and non-existent, maybe the small character interactions are charming at the very least. Why am I even pretending like that's the case? I'm going to focus on two characters, the first of which is Cynthia the Champion. I briefly mentioned this in my black and white video a while ago, and my opinion still stands. Like the game she's from, I don't understand why she's so popular. She shows up like 3 times throughout the game and then helps you a little in the climax. So she shows up more than other champions, I guess, but that doesn't equal good character. If you've played the game, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, can you tell me a single character trait she has other than the generic ones like kind, brave, and curious, which are never expanded on? Can you tell me a single line of dialogue that was an A, exposition, B, a hint on where to go next, or C, generic Pokemon dialogue like, together, you and your Pokemon overcame all the challenges you faced, however difficult. I mean, yeah, not putting this game down is pretty difficult. Is the only reason you like Cynthia her fight at the end and its extreme difficulty? Is that it? Really? Is that the standards for Pokemon? Oh, you use funny Garchomp and kill my Garchomp, best character! Obviously nobody is saying Cynthia is an amazing character based entirely on the games. At least I hope not. Maybe she's good in the anime or something, I don't know. But whatever, it's not like the final boss and champion of the region should be an important character anyways. There is still one character to look at. Cyrus, the leader of Team Galactic and the main antagonist of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. How is he? Oh, that's such a good question. Oh, I'm so glad you asked! Cyrus is the worst villain. That's the end of the sentence. Not just in Pokemon. He is the worst villain I've seen in a long time. And I just finished watching all the Marvel movies, so you know I mean it. Let's briefly look over the other villains of the Pokemon games, just to see what we could expect. Giovanni is a mob boss. He's in it for the money. The newer games try to act like he's this genius god who can travel between dimensions and stuff. He organizes this takeover, he's in charge of the other evil team leaders, and I say BS. Everyone would look at this guy trying to boss them around and collectively beat him up. There isn't a villain in Gen 2, so moving on. Maxie and Archie kinda get a pass. You get Maxie and Ruby and Archie and Sapphire, so they couldn't do too much with them. They're still lame. Maxie isn't crazy scientisty enough, and Archie isn't piratey enough. N isn't a villain. He's an antagonist. And he's great, but if I explain why, I'll be here all day. Ghetsis is kinda lame because he secretly wanted to take over the world the whole time, but at least they go all the way with it. Ghetsis is a deprived evil man. He tries to kill the player multiple times. So he gets a pass for Game Freak going all in instead of half-assing his evilness. Lysander's a lame twist villain. He wears the same outfit as the evil team and says suspicious stuff constantly. But the game is waiting for you to be shocked at the reveal, so he's lame. Lusamine is okay. It's another twist, but I felt like they tried a little bit. Plus, if the twist that she was a villain didn't shock you, then maybe the one where Lily, Lusamine, and Gladion are all related might. Even if the twist aspect doesn't work, it's still easy to despise his character. She mistreated her 2 children, choosing her obsession with Ultra Beast over them, forcing them to run away. I think she's good. Guzma is the best character in Pokemon. I like Black and White's story more, but Guzma is the peak of Pokemon characters. Team Skull too, just throw him in here. He actually has a good motivation for being evil. He wasn't allowed to become a trial captain, and instead of doing something else like Professor Kukui did, he starts a gang with other trainers who also couldn't get anywhere. It's not a lot, but like, count the amount of Pokemon villains with actual motivations. We should consider it a blessing. It's like a rainbow. He's not a giant goofball like the rest of Team Skull, but they know not to take him too seriously. He's still funny. Also, apparently his parents beat him with golf clubs as a kid. That's fun. Moving on to Gen 8. Alright, let's move on. No, I don't want to say it. No, this is where I draw the line. Fine. Chairman Rose I am sorry. You were still a terrible villain with a horrible motivation, plan, everything. But at least the people who made you tried something. That goes for Sword and Shield's entire plot. It was a shit show, but they tried something new, something... Wait, never mind. I forgot most of the plot points in Sword and Shield were ripped from Sun and Moon. Oh, thank God, I thought I would have to praise the story for a second. But Rose is somewhat unique, so I am sorry, Rose. Kinda. Why the apology out of nowhere? Well, I was shown what happens when you don't try. Now that I've shown you how low the bar is for Pokemon antagonists, it's time for that bar to be moved even lower. Where do I even begin with this character? In Diamond and Pearl, Cyrus is the leader of Team Galactic, a team that I'm so confused on. I know grunts are silly little goobers and are never taken seriously, but like, they follow this serious guy. They know what they signed up to do, restart the universe, killing everybody. So why are they like the generic befuddled again type villains? So already this team falls apart. Cyrus wants to restart the universe because there's just too much strife and pain.
I get it. You get it?
Like, I almost understand him. He's upset that the world is full of strife, so he wants to retry, but like, this world is not full of strife. The only strife in this game is caused by him. This is like the most welcoming, kind worlds in fiction. The only mean people are like the bosses of evil organizations, including yourself. Okay, well maybe his past justifies this mindset. Oh, we don't get anything. He wants to reset the universe for no reason. Hell, yeah. I know about the house in Route 228, give me a minute. Also, he has a bad habit of telling random children his plan to kill everyone. If you discover any power derived from the legends of Sinnoh, inform me. For that power is what I need to create my new world. Hey, if you find any cave paintings or something along those lines that will further my goal of resetting the universe, please let me know, I'd appreciate it. Here's my business card. Excuse me. This dude literally speaks like a Redditor mixed with the edgiest D&D player of all time. Reminder, before I read this quote, that we are given no reason for why he is like this. Such emotions are but mere illusions, and like all illusions, they fade over time until death banishes them forever. That is why I have abandoned all emotions as useless sentimentality. This dude is full of Joker quotes like this. He's a turbo virgin. This world cannot be molded into the ultimate world I seek. It's far easier to create an entirely new world than to change this one. A new world in which I am the ruler of all things. I shall become a deity. I can't believe I'm quoting a Pokemon game. I feel like I have to cite the pages and my English teacher will get pissed. So he's not even doing it for selfless reasons. He doesn't care about stopping strife or whatever, he just wants power. He wants to be a god. What an asshat. Now Cyrus does get a lot more lines in Pokemon Platinum, so maybe they saw that they messed him up and fixed him in this new version. Cyrus does in fact have more lines in Platinum, and he's worse because of that. Not only because he talks more and I hate his non-existent voice, I just know he sounds annoying, but they add liar on top of the generic villain personality trait pile this guy already had. In Platinum, they add a scene where Cyrus gives a speech to the rest of Team Galactic, and I could not write a more generic evil speech if I tried. But he talks about how much he respects everyone and how our hearts beat as one or whatever, but in the next scene with him, he snickers, they literally write the word snicker, and he says that he was lying out of his ass. It's true, insofar as my intention is to create a new world. But that world isn't for the likes of Team Galactic. I seek an entirely new world solely for myself. What an asshat! They even try to pull that we know how silly our grunts are move, like they attempted to be self-aware, but I don't even know. I remember a big discussion revolving around Cyrus that caught my interest. Cyrus claims he hates Pokemon and sees them as nothing but tools, but he has a Crobat. Surely this means he secretly cares about Pokemon and thus is a good character. If you don't know, Crobat evolves from Golbat and can only evolve through friendship. So Cyrus, a man who hates Pokemon having one, makes no sense. I have two different theories for why he is a Crobat. Number one, he secretly does care about Pokemon, and him having a Crobat is a subtle way of telling us that Cyrus might be having second thoughts, thus making him slightly more interesting. But caring about Pokemon shatters everything else about his character. He is cold, he sets out to kill everything to restart the universe with him as king, yet he cares about Pokemon? That doesn't make sense. Maybe he just says he hates Pokemon because he wants to look cool, but when no one is looking, he snuggles up with his little bat friend. Explanation number 2. Game Freak just gave him a Crobat because they felt like it. The fact that that's the better option makes me sad. So in conclusion, Cyrus is a character with no motivation. I still know about the house, I'm getting to it. No reason to be a cold world ender. He lies to people loyal to him, and whenever he talks he sounds like an edgy teen who pretends to know true pain but hasn't been alive long enough to warrant his cringy rants. But he actually is like 40 to 50 years old, so it is even more sad. Out of curiosity, how old is Cyrus? 27? I wish I could see this as funny, haha. Like, wow, this guy's 27. That's weird. But I can't. The only appeal this character had left was that he was so old you could interpret your own backstory. Bad writing, yes, but fun to theorize about? Sure. Not anymore. This ruins the small amount of flexibility for this character. I imagine this guy is a grizzled old man, with so much of his backstory being left up to interpretation. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I imagine he had a rough life and wants to just restart, but he's 27? Now, I'm not saying anyone younger than 28 can't suffer and face tough times, but like, as a fictional character, being 27 and talking like this, it's sad, it's pathetic. Him being 27 and having no backstory means you can just make up anything you want for his backstory. He probably went to Anime Club, nothing wrong with Anime Club by the way, and talked about how he wanted to end the world and restart the universe. And then boom, Team Galactic was formed. And look at that. There's no substantial evidence to say that's not what happened, so as far as I'm concerned, that's his canon backstory. Unless you go to some random house in Route 228, there you meet his grandpa and he gives you his entire backstory. Cool! So he does have a backstory, but like, can games stop doing this? Implement his backstory into the story, or at least hint at it, because if you don't, I won't care. I'm not saying have a giant exposition dump about his backstory, but like, do something, hint towards it, get me interested in it. I had to Google what his backstory was before making this video, and the game's lucky I did that. What I'm saying is, don't have your villain's backstory be optional, especially if they act like a wiener hole with no redeeming qualities the whole game, because 95% of players won't find it, and like me, for years, will think he doesn't have one. So yes, he does have a backstory, but once again, too little too late. Also, I'm pissed because my story isn't canon now. I guess Barry's an okay character. Well, that was everything. And I am no closer to understanding you freaks. Let's go over some possible reasons people love Gen 4. The Pokédex. This generation had a very solid lineup of Pokemon, and I would understand if your favorite Pokemon was from it, so why not? The music? Sure, I guess. Underground's there. Contests. Now, saying nostalgia is a person's reason for liking a game, it's honestly mean. You're taking all the things a person likes about a game and saying, no, you don't actually like it. It's just because you played it as a kid and you have rose-tinted glasses. It's not cool. It's really not. But like, I genuinely can't think of another reason. Am I an asshole? Yes, but am I wrong? Please, I want to be wrong. Somebody, make a giant essay in the comments saying you first played it a year ago and you loved it. I'm not immune to the nostalgia thing either. I love Gen 7, and that's 95% nostalgia. I get it. I kind of don't like Gen 3 anymore, and that was my actual first, but I still get it. But this game, it just blends in with the rest of Pokemon. If you got some rando in the streets and made him play every Pokemon game in order, I feel like he'd forget about Gen 4. It just doesn't do enough to stand out. Is it a bad game? No. No, it's not. It's a good game. But as a Pokemon game, it's just whatever for me. Again, if you like this game, good. Genuinely, I'm happy for you. I just don't understand. I love Gen 5, but a lot of people don't, and I don't understand that either. Maybe I have bad opinions. Nah. Everyone has different tastes and likes games for different reasons. Some people care about the story, some the gameplay, some are just happy to be there. So what is the actual reason people like Gen 4? I don't know. And it doesn't really matter. Enjoy yourselves. Tear me apart in the comments. Honestly, I do actually want to hear reasons from people. And I give you permission to tell me why you hate Gen 5. I'll defend myself, but go for it. I may never understand you guys, but I love you. Sometimes. Don't even get me started on the remakes.
We'd like to take a moment to announce that